Ah, Mr.
Mhm.
Ravelowe. See, did you get what I asked for?
In fact, I did.
He sets his briefcase down on the table, opens it up, puts gloves on. He takes some bone scrapings of the like one sharp canine,
Mm.
one of them, into like a little like vial. And then he positions his back so you can't see uh what he's doing. And even though Nux is trying to kind of like walk around, Thaddeus pushes him back. um you do see him shake it, and then he holds it up to like a light, plops it back in the case, puts his gloves back in, closes the case, closes the skull case, turns around. This is what I'm looking for, yes.
I wish we could trade information. You clearly have so much to teach. So,
Okay, well you're flying to Rome.
super. I'll have to dig up my Lankea pin. There's more in there than just tickets to Rome, right? I mean, like where I'm supposed to go, who I'm supposed to talk to.
So you have the whole itinerary for your flight to Rome. You have the confirmation of the booking for your hotel room. You have the plane tickets, and he just says, the person that you need to meet with will be at your hotel room. So when you walk up to the concierge, the check-in desk, you just have to give them your name, and they give you your key to room 22.
22.
When you get to your room, and sitting in the chair by the bed is a familiar face. You see Augustus Vidal, the former prince of the city of New Orleans.
Told you wearing that pin was going to pay off.
So, you want to meet the keeper.
Yes, sir.
Well, you can't know the whereabouts of the keeper. It's just not allowed. But you can be taken to the keeper. But
Thank
you'll
you.
have to agree to be put under.
Put under.
Yes.
I take it there's some drugged blood pouch I must drink from.
Something like that. There is someone you're going to have to try to convince to come with you. The keeper has expressed concerns that they may be needed for this particular problem.
So I seek out.
It is the dragon monk who is staying at the Santi Isidro a Capo le Cas. But when you walk in, there is a nun praying at the front. As you start walking through the church, when you get close to the nun praying, she doesn't look at you, but she just still doesn't look at you, and she just says, "You are here to see the dragon."
Yes.
She was kneeling and had like a rosary. She just kind of like tucks the rosary in her sleeve, does the sign of the cross, stands on up. Please. She gets to there's like a big tall crate on the very back wall. It's like a gray stone wall that's kind of like moist. And she just pushes the box, and it reveals a small wooden door. She takes out a key, unlocks it. Hello?
I take it you're the dragon monk.
That is what they call me.
I need your help.
Why don't we all have a seat?
I'm seeking a kindred known as the Keeper. My sire has interfered with my mind, and it has placed myself and those I care about in great danger. Aside from my personal desires to reclaim my existence and my there's a presence in me, like a shard or a splinter of my sire.
Your sire, you have a great hate for her.
A great disappointment, I think, would be more appropriate.
There is some hate. Then is it for yourself?
To an extent, yeah.
Why?
I've been made to serve her ends which do not serve the collective good of people. I
He's while you're talking, he turns and looks directly at Rose. He just puts his hand on her. Her hands are kind of like folded in her lap, kind of like this. And he just kind of puts his hand on hers, and she stops fidgeting and looking around, and he just says, "What happened to you was not your fault. But there is a journey you're going to have to take to learn to accept this." At midnight, you hear a knock at your door. You open it, and Vidal is standing there with his hands clasped behind his back like he usually does. And peeking around him, you see another familiar face. A small, slightly hunched man in a lab coat who is slightly
Motherfucker.
balding with the thin rimmed glasses, who
Motherfucker.
goes, "William,
Oh
it's a
god.
pleasure to see you again."
So, for those of the crowd who don't know this guy,
Dr. Michaels is a coroner from, originally, I think he was in Baton Rouge.
he
Uh,
was with us in New Orleans.
yes, he was in New Orleans. He got transferred to New Orleans when they needed a new coroner.
Don't know what the hell he is, but he
No,
knows all about it.
I'm gonna prep you so you can go see the keeper. I'm sorry, so
Right.
you can go on your little journey. Shh. All right, so the four of you all kind of lay on the king size bed together, and um Dr. Michaels was like lugging in this big like suitcase, and he starts setting up this equipment that's like it looks like IV drips, and he attaches them to each of you individually. And you feel slightly nauseous, like you're about to just like throw up everything you have in you, but then it subsides and the room starts to swirl, and then it all goes black. When you wake up, you find yourself in a small tiny room that has uh two
We're in a submarine?
a door opens, and it's the dragon monk. And he says, "Oh good, you're finally awake. He gave you. Please follow me." So you step out into, it's a really tight, narrow walkway. Um there are about three other bedrooms, and then like you can see forward there's like a control area, and it does look like what a submarine looks like. But he takes you to the back, um where there is like what would be like the captain's
The keeper, I
um
presume?
yeah, he stands up and he says, "Yes, I have been waiting for you.
It is a great relief to finally meet you.
I just hope I can help you. My friend tells me you've already picked your anchor."
Look over at Nux. I have.
We're going to need to make a focal point. We're going to need to make a focal point for both. It's supposed to help you wake up easier.
Okay then.
Oh yeah, I've got mine. He takes out his cigarettes, pulls out a cigarette, and plops it down on the desk.
Does it have to be shared, or do we each need one?
You each need your own. He turns around and opens up like a cabinet and pulls out some clay, and he starts molding like a little bit of clay into a cigarette.
I pull out my Requiem journal. I take it has to be important to us, and I take it that this won't be damaged in any way.
No. So once he makes the cigarette out of clay, he places it on the front of the desk, and then he starts molding the clay into look like somewhat like your. I'll need to infuse your blood. It will help tie you to the focal point, but also it will allow me to be able to talk to you. I need you to now both lay down and close your eyes. I need you to think of a place that that you feel safe, that you feel protected, and you are suddenly in your old room at the Plasta Arms.
I'm gonna reach under the bed where I kept the chest full of guns.
Okay. As you go to reach under the bed, you hear Nux going, "Bloody hell!" And you suddenly feel yourself being pulled under the bed, and you find yourself in a mirror maze. Um, and you can hear laughing echoing all around you, Josephine laughing. Um, Nux is nowhere to be seen.
Am,
And
am I seeing my reflection or blurs of my reflection?
you see blurs of your reflection, but if you turn and look at different mirrors, you see visions like your mother laying dead on a like a rolling bed. You see Pearl laughing at you and saying, "Well, why would you think that I would have ever really loved you?" Um you see uh you see Nux, but you didn't get to him in time on the cross, and he's nothing but a charred husk. You can hear Josephine saying, "Did you think you really could fix your memories? My dear boy, you are no match for me. You are, now, and always will be, my puppet." And then all the mirrors fall away except one that you are looking to indirectly, and it's you at Quadsco Fortress dominating the woman to tell her that you guys are here as a special historical group. I don't remember exactly what you said, but to convince her that you guys are supposed to be there and to allow you to walk around. And you hear her say, "I've taught you well, overpowering people's minds to get what you want, just like me." And then the world falls away and you are falling into nothingness, and you land hard on sand, and it's bright here, but the sun isn't hurting you, and it's hot and dry, and there's some wind which is whipping sand uh past your face. Out of nowhere, you see Josephine plop in front of you. She's almost like flying through the air with a like a sword, a katana, and when she lands past you, she swipes your arm, which causes a gash that hurts, but not only hurts, it bleeds. And when you turn to look, she's no longer there.
Fuck.
But Nux appears in front of you. Oh, he's like, oh man, I fucking thought I lost you.
She's here. It's
What?
here.
I don't. What are you? And as soon as Nux says, what are you? You see a sword pop up through his chest and his blood spatters across your face. He is pushed onto you and lands in your arms. And Juliet is standing there, flicks the blood off her sword, and says, dear boy, you can't beat me. And that from that, the camera pans up and up and up to see a top view of the little cabin in the submarine with Nux bleeding out on his cot, Rose and Juliet panicking and trying to stop the bleeding, the Tismanu holding both of your hands and telling you to just breathe and remain calm, to come back here, and the keeper trying to tell you to count to 5 and wake up, count to 5 and wake up. And it goes back into William holding Nux, bleeding and trying to say something to him, but he just can't.